Hello everyone, so today let us discuss how to work on an issue. Now in the previous video we spent some time looking at how a project works in Jira, but in this video we are going to discuss how to basically work on an issue, starting with how to create an issue. We'll learn how to edit an issue. We'll spend some time looking at and talking about the operations, different operations that we have in Jira for issues like create, edit, and view operations. We'll also do a quick issue walkthrough and we'll try to understand different things that you can do when you're working with the issue, when you're looking at an issue. We will also start doing some project administration work because we have to work on a project where a user has been given project admin rights. So a project admin has some additional rights, and we'll see how that user, how that project admin can manage the project roles, components, and versions. Now, just to go back to the original plan, in this video series, we are trying to understand how Jira Core works, and this video series is targeted for anyone who is a beginner. If you have no idea about how Jira works and you are trying to understand and you're trying to basically learn how you can also use Jira in your company, that is what we are going to cover. That is what we are trying to cover in this video series. Now, I don't really want to show you Jira and talk about features. I want to basically present a use case. And when you're using this example, I think it will make sense and it will also help you in also relating what you can also do with your Jira instance. Maybe you joined a company or maybe you are using Jira for the very first time. So having some example in front of you makes it a lot more easier. Now talking about the use case that we also discussed in one of the videos in this video series. In this video series, so we're talking about a company called Foodie, and Foodie is an online food delivery service, and this company has different apps, iOS app, Android app, and they also have a website where people can order food. But we are trying to use Jira Core, and Jira Core can be used for any business projects. Now, there is a new project manager, or I should say, a marketing head who has joined this company called Maria M. And her responsibility is basically to run campaigns for the website and maybe for the apps and also potentially the print campaigns every month. Now, in her team, she has graphic designers, content writers, and maybe developers. So this is just to give you an idea about any non-technical project that you can manage in Jira. It need not to be a software development project. It can be any type of activity that you want to track. Maybe you have a small team and you just want to use Jira for task management. Now, this is the timeline, or just to give you an idea about what we are going to do and plan in Jira. So let us say every month they have to run campaigns. Now their August campaign is to promote their Android app, where they will not only promote the app, but they may also want to promote or create campaigns on the website or maybe on the print media. The same thing has to be done for September, where they will promote their iOS app. Also in the month of October, where they will maybe promote offers and so on. In the month of November, maybe they want to promote some new feature called point system. Now, this is the plan that we have for this team, this marketing team, and we in the last video we created a project for Maria to work on this project, this her team. So we will log in as Maria, and right now Maria is a normal user, but she's also the project admin. So always keep this in mind, because if you are a project admin, you can do few more things on a project. Now let me log in with her account. I hope if I am able to log in without forgetting the password. So maybe this is the first time she is trying to log in, and the very first time you will log in, you will be presented with the option to select a language. So it is always good to know that Jira comes, I mean, you can have different language packs that you can install, which is not really the concern of this video, but I just wanted to mention it briefly. So let us keep the language as English and click on continue. When we created the account for Maria, we selected an avatar for her, but she can always change it. If you think this is not the best avatar, you can change it to something else. So let us continue, and now we are in. Now, the moment you're in, you can do few things, like you can explore the current projects, you can create an issue, and you can search for issues. Now, based on the permissions you have, you can view all the projects that you have access to. Now, the moment you log in and you click on the explore projects, you will be taken to the list of projects, but we can also come back to this list later on. If I go to the Jira dashboard, I can click on the logo on top, and this is your default dashboard. So dashboard is something where you can monitor what is happening in maybe different projects or maybe your own specific projects. We'll probably come back to the dashboards in the next video, but right now we just want to work on the project, and we want to basically create some issues, and we want to learn how issues work. Now I'll click on the view all project, and I will then go to the marketing campaign. So this is the project that will be used by Maria. Now we spent some time looking at the project features and different things that you can do with the project, but the first thing that I want to do, or the first thing that Maria wants to do, is she wants to create some issues. Now when you click on the button called create on top, you will be presented with the option to create an issue, and you can then select your project. So right now we'll just focus on marketing campaign, and you can select the issue type. Now in this particular project we just have one issue type, but we can always ask the Jira administrator to add more issue types in case you need more issue types. So right now we are just doing simple task management, where we are creating campaigns, and we want to keep track of campaigns, so we'll probably stick to task. So the first issue that I want to create is maybe for the campaigns that will be launched in the month of August. So I may want to create, let us say, a blog post. So this is something that I want to do, and I can also attach maybe a file, but I can have maybe a due date if that is something that is needed, and you can also add some description. So please write a detailed blog post about. So this is very important. We are trying to, in the month of August, we are trying to basically promote the Android app. So please write a detailed blog post about the features in our new Android app. Now for reporting purpose, you may want to also capture this information somewhere else. So we can actually take a look at maybe the components, and we can also take a look at the versions that we can also use later on. So we'll take a look at that, and I want to maybe or also add some original estimate. If you think writing a blog post will take maybe 2 days, you can add this time. In case you want to do time tracking, it is up to you, and then you can simply click on the create button. Now when you do that, you will have a new issue created, and if you look at your issue, you can do few things here, or rather I should say you can do a lot of things here. And when you're looking at the issue, you're basically doing a view operation. When you click on the button on top called create, you're creating an issue. When you view the issue, you're viewing an issue. And when you click on the edit button, let us say you forgot to enter a field, you can always go back, and you can always maybe add let us say a component. So right now we are working on Android. So we can add a component called Android, and Android is nothing but, so by the way, the components are nothing but a way to break up your issues or break up your project into smaller modules. And since we are trying to run the campaign for Android app, iOS app, and maybe a website, so we'll probably break up our marketing project into iOS, Android, and website, which we have already done. In the previous video, when we created the project, we asked the project admin to create these components called Android, iOS, and website for us. So this can be useful because if you want to maybe keep track of how many issues are there for a specific component, we can do that. So you can always fill up this form, and you can always modify it. So right now we are looking at the edit operation, and these operations are important because when you create an issue, you don't really want to capture each and everything. So right now, if I take a look at the project settings, and if I quickly show you how it works, how it is configured right now. So we are looking at the project configurations, and I can take a look at the versions here. Let us see if we have any versions. I think in the previous video we did create some versions, like maybe a campaign for August, September, October, and November, and so on. And these versions, when you create them, you can also add them to a specific screen. So if you go to the screens, and if you take a look at your screen here right now, so right now in our particular project, we have just task and a subtask. We'll probably take a look at a subtask in a moment. But when you click on the create issue screen, and you may want to take a look at all the fields. So right now, when you look at the fields here, you do have a lot of fields that you can maybe add. Now Maria is probably, I'll check the account. Okay. So what the project admin can also do, if we want to, we can try if we can add. So we know that project admins can always modify the versions and components. But if you try to add a new field, let us see how it works. So if I try to add a new field here, we can see here that we are adding a couple of fields. Maybe we just want to add a fixed version, not really the affected version, because it is not really a bug tracking that we are doing. And we can also do the same thing for maybe the edit and view screen. So we want to use the version, so we will add this version field in our project. And if you look at other configurations, let us say if you go to the fields, or maybe if you go to the maybe notifications, or if you go to the workflows, we'll probably not worry about these things because these things are only managed by the administrator. But you can definitely modify the versions and components, and we just also added the new fields that we wanted in our screens. Now if I go back to the same issue, I can click on the issues again, and I can now click on the issue here and click on the edit button. So I may want to also capture my version, like in which version or release I want this blog post to be out. So this should go out in the month of August, my August campaign. So I can do that. And now we have this fixed version displayed here. So this can be useful in case you want to manage your releases. In this case, it is not really a release of a software, but it is rather a release of a blog post. Now you can continue doing a lot of similar things. For example, if you want to maybe create one more task for a specific activity. For example, maybe we want to also write or maybe create a landing page for maybe this campaign. We can do that. We can also add a due date if you want. I can add a description, and you also have the option to assign it to someone. In the previous issue, we didn't really assign the issue to a specific user, but you can maybe assign it to maybe one of your designer, and you can change the priority. You can also add some time estimate that creating this landing page should take 2 days, and we want this to be out in the month of August. And you can create one more issue. So when you create one more issue, you can of course take a look at it, and you can of course modify it if you want, and the person, the assignee of this particular issue, will get notified in case you have notifications. Now, when you're working on an issue, you can then do a lot of things. It depends on the workflow. So when the issue is sent to Michael, Michael will, if he or she has permission, in this case it is definitely he. If Michael wants to start the progress, he can of course take a look at the issue. He can maybe add a comment. Can you explain a bit more? So when you add a comment, and maybe he can tag Maria, that Maria, can you please explain a bit more? So people can also add comments, and they can tag each other. They can basically uh, mention other users. So Maria will probably respond to this. Right now, of course, we added the comment logged in as Maria. That is why you see Maria here, but it will be the name of the user who is adding a comment. Now, when you are ready to start the work, when Michael is ready to start the work, he can click on the button on top called Start Progress. Then the status is changed to In Progress, and of course, we are just following the workflow. So you can only make a transition that is defined by your workflow. So from In Progress, you can maybe uh, click on Ready for Review, and when you do Ready for Review, maybe you want Maria to approve or reject this request. So you can have some approvals in case you want to basically do this in Jira. Right now I'm using this process management workflow, which was out of the box. You can also do the same thing. And there is also one more thing that I wanted to talk about this particular issue, and that was let me just click on the expand the sidebar. So there is also one more thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is the subtask. So when you click on the more button on top, let us say you have one activity. Let us create a new issue, and this is, let us say, about creating some designs for the campaign, for the August campaign. Now, we are not really talking about what designs, but we'll just create this activity, and we may want to also link it to the August campaign, and I'll create this issue. Now, when you create this issue, I want to break it up further. So you can always create a subtask in case that is allowed in your project. You can create a subtask for maybe create a small banner. So this is one subtask. Maybe you want to create a blog image. Maybe you want to create maybe third one, that you also want to create the print ad. So you can basically create a different subtask that will contribute to the big activity, which is create some designs for August campaign. Now maybe you want this activity to be linked to to basically be linked to everything else. So what you can also do, you can also link it to the other issues that you have. That this particular this particular activity is basically blocking other issues in the same campaign, which is let us say creating a blog post, and also create a landing page, because you cannot really have a blog or a landing page without the images. So basically you need these design campaigns to be ready. Now when you have the links defined, and the person who is looking at the blog post, you can see here that this activity is blocked by the campaigns. And right now, of course, we are linking it to the parent activity, but we can also link it to the subtask if that is what you want to do. Now, when the person is working on the issue, as I mentioned before, you can click on the start button, but the person can also add some time log. Let us say today I worked on this particular activity for 1 day, or maybe, yeah, let us say 1 day, or maybe six hours. So I can say 6h, and I can click on the log button, and you can see the progress here, that out of 2 days you have worked on it for 6 hours, and so on. So these are the things that you can do quite easily when you're working on the issue. And when you click on the summary button on top, you can always take a look at all the uh, information or all the activity that is happening in the project, like who is doing what for a specific project, which is of course marketing campaign. You can change the view to statistics, so you now have some really nice reporting information, like there are 6 issues and all of them are medium. 4 issues are open, one is in progress, one is under review. So this will give you some idea about what is happening in your project at this moment and how you can also improve it, because now you have information to basically take some action and analyze the work happening in your project. Now, in the next video, we will continue looking at things you can do with Jira Core, and we will focus on searching, because searching is very important. When you search for the issues, you of course want to search for the issues, because when you log into Jira, you may have thousands, millions of issues, and you just want to focus on your own issues. So we'll spend some time looking at searching. And I want to again repeat that this video series is for beginners, especially for those who are new to Jira. Also, if you are trying to learn Jira administration work, if you're trying to learn how to customize Jira, you first need to learn how to work on Jira, how Jira works. And this video series is to give you a very quick, and it is quick, but also at the same time a complete walkthrough of different features of Jira as a user, or maybe as a project manager, which is very important, because when you know how to work on Jira, you can then take one more step, and then you can talk about the project administration aspects of Jira. And on my YouTube video, on my YouTube channel, I have hundreds of videos on Jira administration. But I basically wanted to create this video series talking about the basics, so that people who are trying to adopt Jira, they can do it very easily. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and you learned something new today. Thank you very much.